Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. There is a big possibility that the Philippines could experience a surge similar to what is now happening in India if people will not observe the minimum public health standards and the pandemic response will not be intensified. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said in an April 30 television interview after he was asked regarding the concerns of some health experts that the country could encounter an India-like surge in COVID-19. India, one of the most populous countries in the world, has been facing a major surge in infections with record-breaking new cases and numerous deaths reported daily across the nation. The health chief pointed out that interventions such as wearing of face masks and face shields, observance of physical distancing, proper ventilation, and avoiding mass gatherings should be observed. He said that we are not helpless and we are not without the power to fight this if we work together as one. Over a year into the pandemic, the Philippines has recorded more than 1 million cases of COVID-19 infections. As of April 30, the Department of Health reported that the country has 73,908 confirmed cases, 946,318 recoveries, and 17,234 deaths. Mali yung figure. Malacanang announced that food establishments are now allowed to resume their dine-in services, while care establishments like salons and nail spas may now reopen in areas under the modified enhanced community quarantine. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque made the statement following the extension of the MECQ in the National Capital Region Plus bubble until May 14. In a statement, Roque said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has approved on Thursday the recommendation to allow restaurants, eateries, commissaries, and other food preparation establishments to resume their indoor dine-in services at an initial 10% venue capacity under MECQ. The palace official said the IATF also approved the resumption of operations of beauty salons, beauty parlors, barber shops, and nail spas at an initial 30% venue capacity in areas under the MECQ. The said establishments can only provide services that can accommodate the wearing of face masks at all times by clients and service providers. Personal care establishments and services not mentioned shall not be allowed to operate. Roque said the food and personal care establishments may operate their indoor dine-in services beyond this limitation, provided they comply with Joint Memorandum Circular number 21-01 Series of 2021 or the Safety Seal Certification Program. According to vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr., the United Arab Emirates intends to donate 500,000 coronavirus vaccines to the Philippines. Galvez revealed that the upcoming foreign donation of vaccine doses developed by China's Sinopharm during a televised press briefing on Thursday, April 29. Galvez also noted that the planned vaccine donation will be on top of the 1 million doses earlier given by China to the Philippines. Sinopharm has yet to get any emergency use approval for the use of its coronavirus vaccines in the country. The Food and Drug Administration has granted a compassionate permit to the Presidential Security Group for the use of 10,000 doses of Sinopharm last February. The Chinese drug manufacturer reported its vaccine has an efficacy rate of over 79%. So far, the country has received around 4 million coronavirus vaccines, including the 500,000 Sinovac shots delivered on Thursday. More than 1.5 million people have already been vaccinated since the government started the free inoculation drive last March. More vaccine supplies procured by the government are expected to arrive soon. The initial batch of Russia's Sputnik V vaccines will be delivered to the country on May 1, according to Galvez. The government aims to vaccinate 70 million Filipino adults this year to attain herd immunity against the coronavirus. The easterlies will still be the dominant weather system that may affect most parts of the country during the celebration of Labor Day on Saturday, May 1. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration said on Friday, April 30. Easterlies is the warm wind originating from the Pacific Ocean that brings warm and humid weather conditions over the country. Pag-asa said maximum air temperatures on Saturday may reach 34 degrees Celsius in Metro Manila, 32 degrees Celsius in Metro Cebu, 33 degrees Celsius in Metro Davao, and other parts of the country. By Sunday, May 2, Pag-asa said the easterlies will continue to affect the country and bring generally fair weather conditions in the western section of Luzon, including Metro Manila, with a slim chance of rains. Meanwhile, isolated rain showers or thunderstorms are expected over the rest of the country, especially in the afternoon or in the evening. By Monday until Friday, May 3 to May 7, Pag-asa said the easterlies will continue to bring warm and fair weather conditions except for some isolated rain showers or thunderstorms in the afternoon or the evening over Metro Manila and the rest of the country. In Metro News, flexible MECQ to increase workforce by 50% in NCR, according to Metro Manila Council Chairman. Number of new COVID-19 cases in Quezon City declines. And San Juan opens container van quarantine facilities for COVID-19 patients. More from this report.
Small construction projects and personal care stores are some of the establishments that the Metro Manila Council has discussed to operate under the proposed flexible, modified, enhanced community quarantine. Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares Baird on Thursday, April 29. In a radio interview, Olivares, who also chairs the MMC, said that what's important is not the revenue that the local government units will gain from the opening of these businesses, but the number of people who will regain their jobs. Meanwhile, Olivares explained that the idea of the flexible MECQ came from the Department of Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez. The guidelines regarding the opening of such establishments, according to Olivares, will be provided by the Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. He also reminded that only al fresco dining will be allowed under the extended MECQ. The local government of Quezon City has noted a decline in the number of new COVID-19 cases infections, which Mayor Joy Belmonte attributed to the city's effort on testing, tracing, and isolating. Citing data from the Octa research team, the local government said it only reported an average number of 743 new cases from April 20 to 26. The number is lower than 1,183 average cases from March 30 to April 5, which was considered the peak of COVID-19 surge in the country. From a reproduction of 1.59, the latest reproduction number is now at 1.23, which is closer to the recommended reproduction number of the World Health Organization of less than 1. The positivity rate is slightly lower at 21% from 26%, while the daily attack rate per 100,000 population was pegged at 23.60%. According to Belmonte, the city's increased efforts on testing, contact tracing, and additional isolation facilities have greatly helped curb the increase in numbers. San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, Vice Mayor Warren Villa, and officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways officially launched on Friday the city's new container van quarantine facility to accommodate the growing number of COVID-19 patients. The new quarantine facility was constructed by DPWH under the Interagency Task Force We Heal as One program. The fully converted container vans are located near the Pinaglabanan Shrine, and each of the 52 rooms has its own bed, air conditioning unit, and toilet. The mayor said that San Juan currently has 250 COVID beds, 75 of which are located in San Juan Medical Centers, 139 in Kalinga Center, and 36 beds in San Juan National High School Annex Basketball Court. He also inspected the converted quarantine facilities yesterday.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. Iloilo Mega Dam to be up and running by 2024. Kawasan Falls in Cebu reopens on May 1st. And BARMM starts to build 25 million peso town hall in Maguindanao. Here are the details.
According to the National Irrigation Administration or NIA, the Mega Dam project in Iloilo Province will be operational by 2024. This as NIA in Region 6 has set to complete the construction of the Halaori River Multipurpose Project or JRMP2 by 2023. The JRMP2 is the flagship program of the NIA in the Visayas, and it will irrigate 31,840 hectares of farmlands and improve rice production in Iloilo Province. It is also set to generate 86 million liters of potable water supply per day and power a 6.6 megawatt hydroelectric plant. The Kawasan Falls in Badian, Cebu will be reopened to the public starting May 1, more than a year after it was shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Badian Mayor Carmencita Lumain said the reopening of the multi-layered waterfall system in Barangay Matutinao is part of the move to improve the economic situation in the town. The reopening of Kawasan Falls stemmed from an executive order that was issued by Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia that allows the resumption of waterfalls activities in the province. Lumain, however, reminded visitors that health protocols must be observed within the premises of the falls. The upland town of South UP, Maguindanao is the latest recipient of a 25 million pesos worth of town hall project from the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BARMM. The project is part of the region's Ministry of the Interior and Local Government's comprehensive intervention in support to the local governments through its Local Government Facilities Development Program and the Support to Local Government Unit Infrastructure Development Project. The project is designed to have a session hall for the Sangguniang Bayan, Office of the Vice Mayor and Councilors, and all of the mandatory department under the Local Government Code.
In world news, India COVID deaths climb again as global aid flown in. Rescue services reported dozens of dead in Israel pilgrimage accident. And China's space dream, a long march to the moon and beyond. Let's watch this report.
India's coronavirus disaster deepened on Thursday with a daily death toll climbing above 3,600 as dozens of countries sent urgent medical aid to help tackle the spiraling crisis. Death and infections rate have been rising exponentially throughout April in India, which experts blame in part on mass gatherings. On Thursday, the South Asian nation reported 3,645 deaths over the past 24 hours, while confirmed new cases hit a new global record with more than 379,000. The official numbers are widely believed to be far below the reality. In many Indian cities, hospitals are still running out of beds as relatives of the sick crowd jostle for medicines and oxygen cylinders. Thousands of people were killed in a stampede at a Jewish pilgrimage site in the north of Israel on Friday, according to the rescue services. The stampede occurred as tens of thousands of mainly ultra-Orthodox Jews were participating in an annual pilgrimage for the feast of Lag Baumer in Meron, around reputed tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a 2nd century Talmudic sage. Emergency services deployed 6 helicopters to evacuate the injured. Authorities had authorized 10,000 people to gather at the site of the tomb, but the organizers said more than 650 buses had been chartered from across the country, bringing 30,000 pilgrims to Meron. The launch of the first module of China's new space station known as Heavenly Palace on Thursday underlined how far the country has come in achieving its space dream. The Tianhe core module houses life support equipment and a living space for astronauts and is another key step in Beijing's grand plans to establish a permanent human presence in space. Beijing has poured billions into its military-run space program, which hopes of having a crewed space station by 2022 and eventually sending humans to the moon. The country has come a long way in its race to catch up with the United States and Russia, whose astronauts and cosmonauts have decades of experience in space exploration. But Beijing sees its space project as a mark of its rising global stature and growing technological might.
In entertainment, Pinoy boy band group SB19 is among the nominees at the 2021 Billboard Music Awards. Dick Clark Productions and NBC revealed the finalists in 51 categories based on the chart period from March 21, 2020 to April 3 this year. Billboard Music Awards finalists and winners are based on key fan interactions with music, including album and digital song sales, streaming, radio airplay, and social engagement, tracked by Billboard and its data partners. SB19 is nominated for the fan-voted Top Social Artist Award. Other nominees in the said category are Ariana Grande and K-pop groups BTS, Blackpink, and 17. The 2021 Billboard Music Awards will be held on May 23 at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. In sports, a Myanmar swimmer has abandoned his dream of competing at the Tokyo Olympics in protest against the junta ruling in his homeland, saying that taking part would be propaganda for the regime. Win Tet U is one of Myanmar's top swimmers, but in early April, the 26-year-old said he was no longer interested in going to Tokyo. In a statement posted on Facebook, he said that to accept the Myanmar Olympic Committee as it is currently led is to recognize the legitimacy of a murderous regime. He also said that he wanted to show Myanmar people that athletes can take part in the civil disobedience movement as well. He also shared that he wrote to the International Olympic Committee in March, citing the ongoing violence in Myanmar and asking to compete as an independent Olympic athlete. But his request was declined by the IOC, saying that he had not been selected by the Myanmar team. And those are the news on Web Today, April 30, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph. You may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again on Monday. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.